So, conducting research part 3. In conducting research part 1, we have discussed A, B, C. Then in second section we have discussed D, and now we are going to discuss the remaining parts of this section. In E part, you can see online catalog of library holdings. That is also one of the sources which can help the researcher, and it is an important part of library's central information system, that is online catalog of holdings. For example, electronic publications, e-publications, books, serials in the sense the serial of those collections, audio visual materials, etc. are considered. And you can see that at the central information system of this library, all these are documented or recorded or placed properly, so that the researchers can take the benefit of that. There is no standard system for online catalogs. There is no such a fixed format, but you can think like this, that some of the online sources are stored with the help of machines or computers or some operating systems, like you people might have heard about OPAC, which is used in our college library, where the students can easily access the books or publications or whatever is available in the library. Searching an online catalog. When using an online catalog, you can locate a work in a number of ways. The most common are by author, by title, by subject, by call number, by keywords, and by Boolean searches. We have discussed all these types of searches in the last lecture, where we have discussed how you can search the available material or resources for your research with the help of author name or title of the text or subject area or call number, keywords, or Boolean searches. Even there is one more option that is nowadays available, that is advanced search. So in advanced search, whatever you know about that particular author or text or whatever, if you are not sure, then also you can type there in advanced search, and advanced search will help you to identify the books or sources or resources available in that particular system or library. We have also discussed several types of bibliographies which are maintained by some of the standard national or international libraries. So how they are actually procuring all these documents or procuring all these informations. Now here you can see at the bottom an entry in an online catalog. We are talking about the same online catalog. So if you remember, in the last lecture I told you that when you click on the title of the text which appears for the first time when you are searching, then you have to click on that title, and when you enter into that, you can see the expansion of that, means the other information regarding that particular book. So what kind of information and how it appears? It appears like this, where you can see this is standard view. Okay, then you can see name view. Okay, other view. So here generally standard view is preferred, where students or researchers can easily get the idea about the author name, title of the text, Publication details, particularly the place of publication and name of the publisher and year of publication. Bibliographical references like this that is given there. Subject: English fiction, 19th century, history and criticism. Material: culture in literature. So you can see several areas are considered in that book. That is why it speaks about these areas. Then ISBN number of that particular book. Library holdings: unrestricted or internet resources or electronic access. What kind of access is available? Students can physically take that book or students can take it online. So all these things are mentioned there. Then second thing, where it is located, and library holdings: New School Fogelman Library, means in which library or central part of that library that is located. Information needed for research and writing. For the purposes of researching and writing your paper, you normally will not use most of the information that appears in the catalog entry. So you normally will not use most of the information that appears in the catalog entry. So you will use only the important information required for your work. And what is that? Now see this one. Last name of the author. Okay. Friedgut Allen. So actually this is first name of the author, this is last name of the author, this is the title of the text in italics, the ideas in things colon, positive meaning in the Victorian novel. This is the title of the book, and generally the title of the book appears in italics. Then place of publication, that is Chicago colon, U of Chicago in the sense University of Chicago Press, okay, comma, then year of publication, full stop, and in what form that book is available. If it is available in print form, you will mention print. If it is available in other forms, you will mention web. If it is available in PDF form, you will mention PDF. You might have heard about call numbers, accession numbers, classification numbers. Okay, so here call numbers are very important for a person or a researcher to identify the particular system of that particular library, that how this library is procuring all the books, maintaining these records. So the call numbers in your library probably follow one of the two systems of classification. There are two classification systems, and generally one is followed at a time. You cannot follow both at a time. First is the Library of Congress system. What is this Library of Congress system? We will see it in the next slide. Or second is the Dewey Decimal System. Learning your library systems will not only help you to find works and know their contents from their call numbers, but also guide you to sections of the library in which to browse. If you go to the library, I hope you people might have visited PG section, and in PG section you can see there are different subjects, and the books of those different subjects are placed in separate cupboards, and there are some numbers which are used. We will see it in the next slide. This is the Library of Congress system that divides books into 20 major groups. They are listed like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I is generally avoided. J, K, L, M, N, O is dropped. P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y is also dropped, and then Z is used. Okay, So how they have classified it, you can see A actually refers to the general works. Means if you go to the A section, you will see that general works will be placed in that particular section. B part actually covers the books on philosophy, psychology and religion. So those books will be placed in B section. Means those libraries which are following this Library of Congress system. Okay. Then third section, auxiliary sciences of history. Then world history and history of Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, etc. Means world history is covered in this D section. Then history of the Americas, that is covered in E and F section. Geography, anthropology, recreation is covered in G section like this. Social sciences in H. Okay. Political science J. Education, then you can say language and literature in P section. Science under the head Q section like this. Okay. So this is one system which is followed by some of the libraries. This is another system which is followed by majority of libraries. Okay. The Dewey Decimal System, which classifies books under 10 major headings. Okay, and 10 major headings are like this, that 000 200 means 299, 099 computers, information and general references will be covered under this section. Next section, 102, you can say 199, philosophy and psychology will be covered. 200 to 299, religion. 300 to 399, social sciences, like this. And 400 to 499, language. Okay. Then science, technology, arts and recreation. 800 to 899 is literature. Then you can see 900 to 999, history and geography. So you might have issued the books from the library, and if you have seen, last year you people studied language paper and some papers or courses related to literature. So if you see the books on those subjects, you can see again in literature there are separate divisions like 800 to 810 or 820, 830. You can see those classifications are there. Location of library materials. The library catalog normally indicates not only the call number for a title, but also the section in which to find the work, whether in the main collection or in a different location. So all these systems, which are actually based on this number system, call number system, these systems are followed almost in all libraries, and of course they help the researcher to identify the exact location of the sources, resources which are available in that library. So in library again you will find it out that there are different kinds of cupboards or racks where the books are stored. So you can find out open shelves and closed stacks. So various kinds of shelves and racks and cupboards are available in almost all the libraries. There again you can see some sections for reserved books and reference works. In the previous lecture I told you that reference room is separate because there you can see only reference works like dictionaries, encyclopedias, all those works are located. Okay, and easily one person can use those references there. Other sections are there for e-documents, or you can say e-sources, resources like CDs, audio or video recordings, then full text databases. Modern academic libraries make generally available a wide variety of databases like bibliographic database, citations index or citation database, and abstracts which guide researchers to relevant sources. If you remember, in the last lecture we have discussed various kinds of bibliographies, citations, and abstract indexing also. Even there are some more you can say online sources like Anthrosource. If you see this database, you will find it out that there are more than 30 online journals on anthropology, okay, on the area of anthropology. That is why it is known as Anthrosource, where 30 or more than 30 journals are available on that particular specific subject. Another example is ArtStore. In ArtStore, you can see there are more than 7 lakhs images of art and painting, sculpture are there. Okay, so you can miss those who are interested in that particular area can take the help of this source. Okay, where you can see the paintings and other things related to art. Okay, fine arts, that is there. Then EBO, or you can say EEBO, that is Early English Books Online, where more than 1 lakh digital books are available for the researchers in the area of English. Okay, and specifically they are about early English. Means you can see early English books. Nowadays modern English books are available, but at the same time you can find out early English books online here. Then EBSCO, here on this platform you can see various kinds of journals, periodicals, etc. are available for all the subjects: humanities, social sciences, languages, you can say pure sciences. Several subjects are covered here. And finally, Project Muse. This Project Muse is very popular because on Project Muse there are more than 400 journals available for the researchers, and of course they cover various areas. It's not only for one subject or one area, but covers almost all the areas. Other library resources and services are also available for the researchers. Besides knowing about the materials discussed above, you should become familiar with the library's other resources and services. Now, what are these other resources and services? First is microforms. Actually, in big libraries you can see there are separate sections for this. What is this microform? Actually, they used to reduce the size of that particular material which is available for the researchers, and that is made available by reducing the size of that particular original file, and that is done by microphotography. You might have heard about micro Xerox copies. Just like micro Xerox copies, here you can see microphotography is done, and the size of the data is reduced so that several things can be placed at one place. Okay, so that is microforms. Second facility which is available in some of the libraries is media center, where you can see all kinds of multimedia materials are available. Means CDs, CD-ROM, DVDs, audio recording, then video recordings, then you can say um, radio recording, television recording. So then journals, then you can say e-journals, then periodicals, magazines, newspapers. So they used to collect this material for the research work, and they used to place it at that media center. So that media center is available for almost all the researchers. Then next is electronic and other resources, where you can see various kinds of machines are used. Machines in the sense you can see laptops, mobiles or computers, scanners, cameras, all those things which are required to find out a particular or proper source or resource. So various kinds of machines, in the sense all these things are covered there. And last and important facility, that is interlibrary loans. Means some libraries have, we can say, different kinds of books. So suppose you are doing your research in Jalgaon, so you are able to use MJ College Library. You can also use North Maharashtra University Library. But at the same time, if you wish to use a library from Pune or library from other parts of the nation or other parts of the you can say world, then the MJ College Library may have the interlibrary loan facility with some of the libraries. They can do that kind of agreement for the exchange of research materials, and if it is done, then of course researchers will be benefited. Then next is web sources. See, we started talking about E, then F, then G, and now we are talking about H, part of the same topic, that is conducting research. In web sources, again you can find it out that there are various kinds of sources available. There is a great range of sources available on web. Through the World Wide Web, that is WWW, a researcher can read and transfer material from library catalogs and millions of other useful sites created by professional organizations, government agencies, commercial enterprises, educational entities, and individual scholars. So on Google also, if you try to find out something on a particular topic, a specific topic, you can see that there are various kinds of sources and resources available online. Means if you type something on Google, then you will find it out that number of links will appear. Okay, but you have to take care of few things which we are going to discuss in the next slide. But here I am just giving you the idea about it, that even on web there are various kinds of sources which are available, which are made available by some professional organizations, some government agencies. Okay, you may see that some non-government agencies, NGOs are also working, so they are also collecting data. So these things are actually collected and stored at one place for the researchers. So here I told you that this is range of sources, but second thing which you have to follow, which is very important, that using recommended sites. Now various kinds of sources and resources will appear, but which sources are authentic sources, which are not authentic sources, the researcher has to decide it. And there are some you can say rules for that. We will discuss it in brief. Using web for research requires practice and training, just as using a library does. Means as you visit the library, there are several sections in the library, there are several books in the library, but how to refer the books, how to find out the proper books, as you require the knowledge of that, practice and training of that, in the same way there are several kinds of sources, resources available online. So you must have the idea about this. You must get a kind of practice and training for this. Whenever possible, follow the guidance of an instructor, the instructor who will guide you for these authentic sources. An academic department or a librarian in selecting internet sites for research, because it will be very difficult for the researcher at initial stage to identify these sources are useful or not useful, or authentic or not authentic, but the experts can guide you and experts can help you to find out the authentic sources. In addition to offering online databases, your library's website may provide links to important internet sources, which were likely selected after careful evaluation and consultation. Now, several libraries are doing this, that they used to provide some necessary or important sources links. If you go to KBC NMU website, you can see useful information or useful important links are there, so the student can directly go to that particular homepage. So that is also possible, and the people who used to place it there, actually they select after careful evaluation and consultation. It is not like this that they have selected some 10 websites or links and then uploaded it, but they have already done the evaluation of that, and then finally it is given there for the others. A librarian might also be able to advise you about sites relevant to your research, because librarian is also given the idea about it, that what are the authentic sources and resources, or what are the standard websites, authentic websites which can be used for research purposes. Similarly, you may find recommended sites on web pages for your academic departments, instructors or courses. As you people might have heard about it, that the teachers who teach a particular subject, the teacher used to give you the idea about it, that this is the authentic source where you can find out the material for this particular topic. Third point is gateway sites. Means there are some other sources with the help of which the researchers can collect the material. Your librarian or instructor might direct you to a meta page or gateway that provides links to other sites. For example, Voice of the Shuttle. This is actually designed in University of California, Santa Barbara, which offers on its home page a menu of subjects in the humanities. So if you wish to do your study in the area of humanities, you can take the help of this source, Voice of the Shuttle. Second is Crossroads. It is actually designed by American Studies Association, which is a comprehensive resource for research and teaching in American studies. Third is Intuit. Intuit Consortium. It is published by a consortium of 7 universities. So these 7 universities have worked together, and then that is published for the others. So researchers can use such important sources. Searching the web. There are various kinds of search tools. You people are familiar with that. Whether you are developing a research topic or looking for research sources, use the tools for locating internet materials. Like when you are referring a material, you must bookmark it, or you must record the URL link somewhere, because next day it may happen that you will not be able to find out the particular page which you have referred for that particular work. So whenever you refer something, when you go through a particular source or refer a particular source, you must record it somewhere. Particularly if it is online, then try to record the URL, okay, that link which appears there on the browser. Bibliographic databases. So whatever the bibliographic databases you have referred, again you have to document it properly, because those are actually large databases, and it will be very difficult for researcher to go back and again search for something in that large database. It is better when you refer something like that, then document it at the same time. Recording the date of access. Whatever the online source you have referred or recorded, you must mention the date of access, on what date you have accessed that particular website. That is very important. Then internet sources among other sources. Internet sources in the sense that you will give the URL link, but at the same time there are specific documentation styles for internet sources which you have to follow. And if you are not documenting all these things, then of course the researchers will not be able to present it before the others, and others who will read that research work, they will not be able to get the exact idea about the sources and resources used. Conducting research. We have discussed that particular section in 3 parts, and now we are going to summarize it in brief what we have discussed. Your school library or college library is likely to be your most reliable guide when you conduct research. You should therefore become as familiar as possible with the library's electronic and print resources and its various services, okay, which include electronic resources, for example, online catalog of holdings, reference works, bibliographic and full text databases. We have discussed all these things. I am just revising it in brief. Then books and similar publications or pamphlets, or in whatever form those sources are available. Then print periodicals, journals, newspapers, magazines, which you people can use for your research work. So I'm talking about the sources and resources which can be used by the researcher and which are available in the library. Additional sources like audio recording, video recording, CDs, okay, all those can be used. Library services may include, as we have discussed it, that what kind of library services are available. Then media center can be established in a library, and that is very useful for the researchers. Then photocopying machines, those are generally available with the libraries. Access to computers, you people might have visited MJ College library, so there you can see photocopying machines, access to computers, CDs and other things are available. Use of software applications, printers, scanning devices and other. then hardware which is required for these things, interlibrary loan, then useful web sources are sites recommended by instructors and librarians, gateway sites. We have discussed almost all these things, and I hope you have got the idea about it, that while conducting a research, the researcher is expected to understand all these things: how to refer a library, how to refer these sources available in print form or e-form. Okay. So thank you.